God, beer, and electric Mustangs. Oh, yeah. Pete Buttigieg,
Booty juice.
our former intern at Channel 5. Yes, he was.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He was
I didn't
Renee
know that.
Ferguson's. He would hang out in the I team or whatever, the investigative unit. Yeah, nice guy. She would parade him around the newsroom and say, Pete, tell them how you say your last name. And he'd say Buttigieg. And then she would start laughing. She's like, isn't that funny? That's his last name. I'm like, okay, hi, nice to meet you. But he was always, for an intern, always well-dressed, never jeans. Like, he took it seriously.
Wow.
So, kudos to that. But then all of a sudden, boom, bam, bing, he's now the transportation secretary. But he's going to be more than that, because I don't know if you read this fluff piece on him in Wired.com. Some excerpts. He has a voluminous mind. His cabinet job requires only a modest portion of his cognitive prowess. It was the biggest fluff piece you could ever imagine for a transportation secretary. So there must be something more to this, right? Let's welcome back to the program our good friend and University of Iowa alum, Chadwick Moore, editor-in-chief at Outspoken and contributing editor at Spectator World and author of So You've Been Sent to Diversity Training, Smiling Through the DEI Apocalypse. Good morning, Chadwick. How are you? Chadwick, are you there?
Yes, hello. Good morning.
Oh, there you are.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. So what did you think of this absolute puff piece on a transportation secretary? What could it all mean?
I think this writer is angling for a job at the Babylon Bee. It seems like parody to me. I saw the headline, and I got an idea. I thought, I'm going to write a parody of a profile of Mayor Pete for the Spectator, and then I read it, and I thought, I can't do any better than this.
Oh my God.
It was so hilarious. And even, that headline, was it Mayor Pete loves beer and God and his Mustang? It's like, oh, yeah, he's
Electric.
a strong all-American Kinsey scholar that we all knew him to be. Okay, not the pompous and confident dweeb, but whatever.
But he checks all the boxes. I mean, he's a veteran. His dad's a professor at Notre Dame. He's smart. He plays the piano, yet he splits wood. He's in a gay relationship. He's a father of twins, multiples. I mean, come on. What's not like to love about this guy?
Yeah. And then, the airports are a disaster. The airline industry is a disaster. I don't bet it took him how many weeks to go to East Palestine, Ohio. I mean, everything this guy touches turns to crap. He's completely incompetent. He was a diversity hire. Everyone knows it. Everything he's done in the public sphere, he's failed at, and yet we get this profile of him, which is kind of unprecedented, as you mentioned before, for a transportation secretary.
Yeah.
And then, the only thing I've read about his time as mayor, which is the only time he's held elected office of South Bend, is that he couldn't fix the potholes. And now he's a transportation secretary.
And he's done nothing. I mean, it's a joke. The airports and what happened over Christmas time with Southwest Airlines, and then, of course, the derailments that were going on. And, he shows up in a Village People costume with the, the security vest on and the neon and does nothing. I mean, it's a joke. But I think that they're prepping him to be president or vice president, don't you?
Well, he certainly seems to have much higher ambitions. And then his house husband, Chasten, was also on the cover of a magazine this week I saw on The Advocate, which I used to work for. They fired me because I'm conservative. He clearly has ambition. And there's certainly a group of people who are basically probably exactly like him in spirit and education and class who absolutely love this guy. But there's something about him. Number one, he can't connect with black voters. He's tried very hard. I don't know if you'll call him showing up at black churches, even drinking 40s in Harlem once. It was so pathetic and pandering. So black voters don't seem to like him very much. And just for me, he doesn't pass the smell test. There's something about him that just feels so phony. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something off.
No, because I've met him, a number of times, and I understand what you're saying. There's something different. And I love that stunt that he pulled. Remember when he had his driver take him 2 blocks away from the White House? Then he jumps on a bike and cycles in. Look I'm the transportation secretary wearing a suit, looking like Pee Wee Herman, riding my little bike with the bell, ding, 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 into the White House. Oh, my God.
Just like Pee Wee Herman. That's a good reference.
All right, so they're trying to bring back, Kamala Harris to try and build up her reputation. And let me ask you this, Chadwick Moore. Do you know who YouTuber is Lene Wani?
I'm not sure if I do. Is that the one who imitates her?
No, this is the YouTuber who interviewed her, and in 3 days, it only got 3,000 hits on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
3,000? I could get more of that when I used to have a Twitter handle, which is Amy Jacobson. Here's this, hard-hitting, deep questions being asked to our vice president, the second in charge. Come on, play.
What's your favorite song of all time?
What's your favorite song of all time?
My favorite song of all time. I was going to say something from Bootsy, but...
Oh, there's that laugh.
I mean, I don't know if your viewers know Funkadelic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I am 28.
By Marley, for sure.
Okay.
There's a range. I have a range, but I'm a hip-hop kid. That's how I grew up.
I mean, could they be any more tone deaf as to go with this YouTuber that no one's heard of? Not even you have heard of them. And it only got 3,000 hits. It's kind of embarrassing.
I can't decide if she's constantly on the verge of a breakdown or hopped up on prescription drugs all the time. But I don't understand what world she lives in. I would love to know, or what goes through her mind. But she is the gift that keeps on giving, our Vice President Cackler.
So do you think that there is a possibility that President Trump might win this race? If he wins the nomination, of course, if he wins the primary against President Biden?
Well, you don't listen to anything I say because I've been wrong about basically every election in the last few years, the way it would end up. I mean, I don't know. I personally really, really do love the man, but I just don't know if people would. I think they've so effectively stained him and made people so frightened of supporting him, like, independents and disaffected liberals, that I'm not sure if he could. I don't know. I mean, I hope he does, but I just don't really know.
Hey, he needs to play the wrong comment right there. First of all, Transportation Secretary Booty Juice. Buttigieg. I didn't call him Booty Juice. The President of the United States called him Booty
Yeah, that's
Juice.
right. Biden, did you hear that? He called him Booty Juice.
Hello, you there? Did you hear the President of the United
States?
So the President of the United States, when he Transportation Secretary was speaking, he was done with his speech, and Joe Biden comes out and he goes, "Hey, thank you so much, Transportation Booty Juice."
Booty Juice. He called him Booty Juice instead of Booty Gig.
No, I'm going to tell you why you were wrong about Trump. Last night I was.
I didn't mean to bring it up. Okay,
I was in Oak Brook, of all places.
All right.
There was a bunch of fairly rich people that were there, and I was listening to these guys talk about their daughters who were very liberal, and who've now changing their stance. They look at what Joe Biden has done, and I think that's happening not just in these white liberal women, but I think you're starting to see that in black communities and brown communities. I think he's really shifting, and people see, and remember this about the black and brown community. They hate government that uses its resources on people. Black people feel like they've been under that umbrella for decades.
Right.
Trump didn't have that ideology. This president does, because they're gonna keep you in chains. He did the law in 1994, the prison reform law and all that things. So I really believe there's gonna be more people voting for Trump in the black communities and these white liberal women who are flustered and frustrated, especially those people who come from places like Hinsdale and things of that nature. Just listening, I didn't say anything. I just listened to the conversation last night.
But how many people were you with? 5? That's not enough.
It was about 28 people.
That's not enough to move.
But what I'm saying is, listening to them, and their kids had never voted for a Republican in their life.
Really? Well,
Yes.
my kids, Chadwick, I have a 19 and an 18-year-old, and by the way, Chadwick, my youngest, is going to University of Iowa next year.
Oh, congratulations!
Thanks. That's where you went to Iowa, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We're fellow Hawkeyes, thank God. But they were shocked that he was even running. Like, are you kidding me, Mom? He's not running again. I said, yeah, he's announcing right there on a Tuesday morning via a video that dropped at 6 a.m. Did you get a chance to look at that boring clip, Chadwick?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it was
fortunately
pretty bad. All right, so you are working on a new book, and the website is live today. Tell us about the book, and I know that the announcement is going to be made on Monday, but can you give us a little teaser?
Yeah, of course, and happy to give you guys the first teaser. So officially announcing on Monday, but pre-order is available now. It's a biography of Tucker Carlson.
Oh.
Yeah. It's the website is
Perfect timing.
tuckerthebook.com.
Okay, wait. What's the website again? You got cut off.
Oh, sorry. It's tuckerthebook.com.
Okay.
And you can find it anywhere books are sold now. You can go there for more information. But I've spent over a year working on this book and gotten to know Tucker really well during that time. I was a regular on his show, and as it turned out, I was a guest on his last episode. Of course, none of us knew that was going to be the last episode. And so, all this stuff with the firing and we got actually fired, his show being pulled off the air. It's all in the book. I've got some behind-the-scenes stuff about that, but mainly it's just about his life and who he is, and who is this guy? Where did he come from? What's he like off camera, and what's his world like? And it was a really wonderful experience working on this book, and I'm really excited about it.
That's huge. So in the book, you talk about this last chapter in his life, how he got yanked off the air.
Yeah, and now it sort of feels like it kind of feels like him being kicked off Fox is kind of the end of his origin story. Like, what's he going to do now? We all know he's still going to be around and whatever he's going to do next. But this, Fox is really where he came into his own and of course, became as powerful in the conservative movement, as big of a voice as he was. So, it kind of ends with him leaving Fox and everything, his life up until then. So it's really fascinating stuff, and I hope everyone enjoys it.
Yeah, and again, you can pre-order the book at tuckerthebook.com. How did he start off? Because was he a DJ or was that Glenn Beck?
He started off in magazines. He was a writer, and he was he was a good writer, like a really good writer, and he always just wanted to be a reporter and a writer. And his first time ever on television was actually, he was randomly asked to come on and discuss the O.J. Simpson trial. And that was his first time ever. And he didn't know anything about it. And he's like, okay. And that was his first stint in television. He took off from there.
Wow. Do you remember what station that was? Or was he?
It was on 48 Hours.
Oh, my gosh.
What perfect timing to release a book about Tucker right
Yeah.
now. You lucky devil, you.
I know. You're so... All right. To pre-order the book, go to tuckerthebook.com. And Chadwick Moore, always a pleasure spending time with you. And thank you so much for making time for us this morning. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Dave Nissen, CEO of PKF Mueller. As a CPA firm, we have been serving our business clients